Hi, this is Sean. Welcome to Guitarreferenceguide.com. I'm super excited about this lesson. Today we're going to learn how to play our bar chords. We're going to learn how to play our root 4 major chords and minor chords, our root 5 major chords and minor chords, our root 6 major chords and minor chords. Simply put, the root is the string. So root 4 is D, root 5 is A, and root 6 is E. So the great thing about learning the bar chords is it expands your chord vocabulary. And once you know one, you know a lot of different chords, because as you move up the neck, you get different resulting chords. For example, this is an F. I move up 1 fret, this is an F sharp or a G flat. I move up 1 more fret, this is a G. And this works the same way with the minors. So once you know a handful of your basic bar chords, root 4, root 5, and root 6, you can play a lot of different songs. So this is really helpful. It's going to expand your chord vocabulary, your guitar knowledge. You'll be able to play a lot of songs you couldn't play before because you'll be able to play in different keys. So if you like what you see in this video, please subscribe. Please check me out at Guitarreferenceguide.com. In this video, I'm also going to have inset chord grids that's going to help you understand how the chords work, and I'm also going to have accompanying PDF that's going to show you the names of the notes that you could start memorizing, so when you're looking for the chord you could find it pretty quickly. So have a great day and let's get started. Okay, here we go. So we're going to start with the easiest bar chord first. We're going to start with a root 4, which means it starts on the 4th string, the D string. And we're going to play an F chord. It's going to look like this. Now the whole idea here is you could use the front of your finger like this, and you can curve it backwards like this, kind of going in the opposite direction of the joint. So not like this, but flattening it and trying to curve it back. You bar the first 2 strings on the high E and the B, second finger on the 2nd fret of the G, and third finger on the 3rd fret of the D. And we would strum this from the D chord. Now I'm flattening this, 2nd finger, 2nd fret, and it should sound like that. Now one of the hardest things with this is muting the other strings. So lots of times what happens when you start learning how to play these bar chords is sometimes some fingers mute the lower string or the higher strings in the sequence. So that's one way to do it. So this is an F root 4 bar chord. Now another way to do it that some people find easier is using the side of your finger right here, because this is a little bonier, there's not as much flesh there, and if you turn your finger this way to the side and you set up the same chord, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, that's also a great way to do it. So this is how it looks from the front. Now we're going to take a look at what our fingers should look like from the back of the neck of the guitar. Now for thumb position, when you're holding the neck, you want your thumb to be straight against the neck of the guitar and kind of curved like this. And notice how my wrist is pretty straight. You know, lots of times when people play they do this. Sometimes it's hard to not do that, but it's always better if you can to keep a straight wrist, pushing my thumb down towards I'd say the top 3/4 of the neck of the guitar, and then I'm pressing down and I'm getting that sound like that. So this is for the root 4. When we go to the root 6, it's going to still look the same, but we're going to have to leverage our arm a little bit so we can get the full bar across like this. And that's what your thumb should look like against the neck of the guitar, and your wrist should be as straight as possible. And that's what the back angle. Now for the F minor chord, we're going to take our index finger and we're going to, instead of just barring the 2 strings, we're going to bar 3 strings, the G string, the B string, and the high E string. 3rd finger is going to stay on the 3rd fret of the D string. And that sounds like that. So for this one, you need to exert a little bit more pressure, pushing your thumb down, back of the neck of the guitar. First, I would try just getting those 3. Once you feel like you have a handle on those 3, I would add your 3rd finger to the 3rd fret, playing from the root 4, and that gives you your F minor chord. And you can move this up and down the neck, and as you do that, you'll get obviously different resulting chords. So that would be the F minor. Now what we're going to do is we're going to play through a full F bar chord. I think the easiest way to do this one would be to start by setting up your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the G, 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the A, pinky on the 3rd fret of the D, and holding your finger straight out like this first, and then flattening it down onto the neck of the guitar. The side of your finger works really well because it's very bony. So once again, we set these fingers up, get our thumb in place here, straight out and across. And there's your F bar chord. Now to make this minor, very easy, you just take your middle finger off, and there you have your F minor chord. So those are our basic major shapes for F from the root 4, F minor from the root 4, F major from the root 6, meaning the 6th string. In other words, the root is on the 6th string, the low E string, and F minor from the root 6. Okay, so now that we know how to play our F chord, our F minor chord, both root 4 and root 6, we're going to learn how you can move this chord all the way up the neck and get different resulting chords, which is one of the huge benefits of being able to play the closed position bar chord. So we're going to start here at the F. This is an F chord. Here's your F note. It's on the 3rd fret of the D string and also on the 1st fret of the high E string. So that's our root note. So if I take this whole chord and I move it up 1 fret, this would be F sharp or G flat. Sharp means you move higher, flat means you move lower. I move up 1 more, we have a G. I move up another one, I have a G sharp or an A flat. Move up another one, I have an A, etc. I can move all the way up the neck till I get back to where I started, and this would be the octave, and this would be at the 13th fret, that would be F. So that being said, we have this shape, and as we move up the neck, learning the names of these notes is going to help you find these chords when you're looking to play something like, say, a B flat, an A flat, or a G flat. So it's really helpful if you're playing a song in the 1st position, it's open, all of a sudden you see a chord that's not a 1st position chord, you might see an A flat. Then you'll know how to grab it by understanding how the notes work on the D string. So from the root 6, it works exactly the same way. So this is my F note, this is my F sharp, or my G flat, this is my G, G sharp, A flat, A, etc., all the way up the neck. You can play all these different chords. Now, it works the same way for the minor chords, so if I was playing the F minor, it works the same way. This is F sharp minor, this is G minor, this is G sharp or A flat minor, this is A minor. So the minors work the same way. This is F minor, F sharp or G flat minor, G minor, G sharp or B or A flat minor, A minor, etc. So those are how you could use these chords to move up the neck and get different resulting chords. So now we're going to explore, in the next video, we're going to explore the root 5 bar chords, both major and minor. Here we go. For the root 5, meaning the bar chord starting from the A string, we're going to start with the root 5 C bar chord. So this is my C note, and to get this bar chord I would need to take my third finger and I would need to flatten it against the D, the G, and the B string at the 5th fret. So I want to try and flatten my finger, not so the joint is curved, but so it's actually going the opposite direction, almost as if you were to be double jointed. Would be a good thing. Then I put my index finger on the 3rd fret of the A string, and that's my resulting sound. So that is my C bar chord root 5. Now, in the beginning, this is a very difficult chord to get. Sometimes people have a hard time stretching with this finger, so you could also try it with your pinky if your 3rd finger is giving you a hard time. The high E string is muted, so those are the only notes that are sounding. And if this proves to be too difficult, if you were to just play the 5 chord, that will work both for major and minor chords, and that would be playing your 3rd finger only on the 5th fret of the D, pinky on the 5th fret of the G. And that would sound like this. There's your C5. So if this is too hard in the beginning, you could always do the C5. And that is my major bar chord. And this works the same way. So this is a C. If I move up 1 fret, this is a C sharp or a D flat. There's my root note here. This is a D. This is a D sharp or an E flat. This is an E. This is an F. So that's how the major chords work as you move up the neck. Now we're going to do minor. Now for the minor, we're actually going to start with, this is not going to be a root 4, but this is the easiest way to play the minor chord. The closed position minor chord. Now, I'm playing the 5th and the bass, so this is not the root of the chord here. The root of this chord is actually right here on the G string. So this note here, that is a C note. And this is a C minor chord. So we have our 1st finger on the 1st fret, the 1st finger on the 3rd fret of the high E, 2nd finger on the 4th fret of the B, pinky on the 5th fret of the G, 3rd finger on the 5th fret of the D. And this will be my C minor chord. So if this is C minor, if I move down, this is going to be B minor. Very usable chord. If I move down one more, this is going to be B flat minor. If I move down one more, we're going to have an A minor. So this works the same way. So understanding this note and the names of the notes as you move up the fretboard is very helpful. So that's C minor, C sharp or D flat minor, D minor, etc. Now for the root 5. The root 5, we're keeping this shape alive, and we're going to bar the 5 strings, and this is my root note right here. So this is a C minor root 5 chord. This looks exactly like the bar chord we were playing, the F bar chord, the same shape, just like this, except moving all your fingers 1 string higher. And this is the minor chord from the 5th string. So C minor, C sharp, minor, D flat, D minor, etc. So that's how you play the root 5 bar chord for the minor. And this is also how you play the minor chord from the 4th string, but the root here is actually on the G string.